everybody is talking about the planetary alignments that's happening in January, but this is the end of the month, okay? Can you see this? This is what we're actually going to be going through, and it's going to be major, and it includes a dark night of the soul. So we got to talk about that and Aquarius season for the energy report of February. I am Candace with, of course, it's Miracles, A Course in Miracles. We got a lot to cover. Let's get into it. So by the end of this month, we have a new moon in Pisces. Then we have Saturn, Mercury, North Node, Neptune, Venus, and Chiron just stacked up in an arc, a major alignment. And while some of these alignments are currently happening, we don't have the sun there. We don't have all of these aspects that are actually coming up are far more dynamic by the end of the month. We don't have Mercury, for instance, right now in Pisces, but we are headed towards something in Aquarius season. Right now, we are getting the information for what we will be experiencing with this arc. So let's go over Aquarius season. I've got a ton of new downloads for you that are so freaking cool. That is going to prepare us to get to the end of the month where we have a new moon. So this entire thing ends with the new moon ceremony. So stick around, like, subscribe, and let's get into it, baby. We got to talk about Aquarius. Okay, so if you want to see the Jofrah image for Aquarius, you can go back to like what I talked about Pluto in the video. I'll put it in the description. So we don't have an image to go over. But nevertheless, I love that when I'm preparing for these, I always get so much amazing content to film with. Thank you, universe, for the abundance of ideas and downloads. So Aquarius season, I'm going to give you another direction to look at it about the information on the field that is being asked of you to gather and capture and to send out. Okay. So the first download that came to me was because it was so freaking cold. I'm in Detroit and we had a -10 day where the air was just whipping. And I know it got freezing cold all the way down to Florida and was snowing there. And the first thing that came in was about the snow and about Aquarius season in the northern hemisphere, in the north, or, you know, I'm in Northeast. We have frigid temperatures. This is when we usually get to the lowest temperature before everything turns over to spring, right? It's the lowest it goes. And it's always super windy and icy and frigid. Frigid is the word that kept coming up to me. And when you think about the symbology and the sign of Aquarius, it's like frigid electrical symbols. And I got this idea that information is stored in the frigidity of this air. It's slow down air with a structure to it that is for us to partake in. So I don't know what you've been been going through, or where you are in your process. For me right now, it feels slow and like I'm in the middle of something, inching towards something else, but the reality feels kind of just like the same, especially in Detroit where we have very little sun right now. But I've been keeping so many notes. Every time I look up, I've got something to write. I've got so much content that has been coming to me. It feels like a full information field. Snow, I got the download that snow is obviously water. So it's water stores information. And when it sticks on the ground, that means that that information sticks around. And while it's frozen, it's almost like it's all the information that we're going to need for spring and summer will melt into the ground where you are and will be evaporating and coming towards you. Okay. And so think of snow as a ton of information on the field for you to pick up. And because of its nature of Aquarius being an air sign, not a water sign, it's about how the information flows to you. You can also send out a ton of information. So it's a really good time to expand the boundary of your energy, and you can just try to connect to the larger field around you. And the snow will allow it to go out even farther into your environment, and it connects us all at a greater level. And it allows you to send out more information for your dreams, your manifestations, your goals, while also retrieving more information about your dreams, your realities, and your goals. And some of them you'll be able to get now, and some of them will be integrating with you throughout now until summer. Okay. So remember that. Write things down. Do not take advantage of the information that is coming to you. Keep a notebook handy, Post-its, whatever you need, your phone, and ensure that you are taking down the information now about what's going on in your environment. For me, I'm getting a ton of downloads because I'm changing a lot of things with work. Again, I'm not done. I know we all have been working on these projects and changing them and trying to get them right. And I've got a ton of new downloads to integrate and work with. Don't take that information for granted. It is a form of abundance. Okay. So I've been told to tell you that. So now, if you obviously don't live in a cold place, you live in a hot place like California, that wind of Aquarius came through without any moisture in the air and fires. Electric. It's about the traversing of the air and the movement of information across the planet, whether it be in a sense where it's bringing moisture or it's going to spark something. It's electrically charged air, very positive charge again. So no matter where you are, there is information on the field, and full compassion to the people who've lost so much in the fires and just having to restart everything. And just I don't see this. This is what we're going to see a lot of until we decide that we are going to treat our earth with compassion and love and nourishment, what she has been longing and craving for just so long, right? And it's just devastating. When I think of Aquarius, I also think of the neurons in the brain and how the brain is just like the cosmos. We are in the mind of God, and it's information traveling quickly. So it's like when you think of a signal that sends out information through a neuron based on a response and how quickly it gets through. It's electrical in nature, so it's highly charged. Okay, remember that. Just remember that. Okay. The next thing that came up for me was I was watching something randomly on the firmament. It was the only thing that I stumbled across it, and he mentioned the goddess Nut, who is the goddess of the firmament. And for some reason, I thought, I got to look this up. Is she associated with Aquarius? And she is. So I was guided to talk about the firmament from another perspective. So if you don't know what the firmament is, it is the boundary that is said to be around Earth. Okay. And we have to go over a Bible verse here to explain this to you perfectly. But I want you to look at these images that I have on the screen here, because this is what most ancient traditions say what Earth looks like. Looks like it has this boundary around it, and everything is contained within it. And this is something that I decided to deep dive on, and this is what came out. So first thing I want you to see is this Bible verse. It's Genesis 6-8, and I got this from the Hebrew Bible. And God said, let there be a rakia, expanse or firmament is what rakia means, in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And God made the rakia, and it separated the waters that were under the rakia from the, remember, firmament, from the waters that were above the rakia. And it was so. And God called the rakia Shamayim, heavens. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. Okay, so I was watching this pastor talk about the firmament, and this is the best information that I got from it, is that he took this image of water in a bubble, as you can see on my screen. If you're not listening on the podcast, if you're watching on YouTube, obviously, there's a bubble of water here, and then he erased the middle portion of that bubble to signify the separation of the waters from the waters. So when in this Genesis verse, it's talking about God creating the earth, and first he separated the waters from the waters. And this is showing to me, when you see this separation of the waters from the waters, it looks like a freaking cell, okay? This looks like a cell. And obviously, if you consider chemistry and biology and how creation happens, if you put a man and a woman together and you make a baby, it starts a single cell that divides amongst itself, and has the information of the all. God's first thought was a cell. That's what led me here. But what we need to pay attention to here is that the boundary of the cell on the external portions where that water is, and the boundary at the center of the cell are both water and the same thing, and that is the firmament, okay? I consider the firmament to be Aquarius because Newt is associated with Aquarius, and she is the firmament. And this boundary around this cell is very much, to me, us. The boundary around us and the heart, where the other portion of the firmament is, as above, so below. That's the waters inside versus the water at the boundary. And being able to get to this boundary either through going in the body or expanding out to it. Okay? And in this explanation that I'm trying to give to you is the idea of in this season from Aquarius to Pisces, we reach the boundary of the firmament in Aquarius season, and then we pierce it and go into the waters during Pisces season, where we are fish, and it's like our original home. So if you would think about piercing from earth and going into heavens, or the soul's home when it is not in a body, to me, Pisces represents that. And the fish, because they can breathe underwater, this is their original environment. That soul that we have, to me, that is its original home. And when we are in Pisces season, we are being called back to home, okay? Aquarius season, on the other hand, is the journey. Capricorn is the journey to the boundary of the firmament, climbing up the mountain, or it's a Capricorn goat fish. Remember, it's two things. So he's either climbing up to the firmament or he's diving deep with his tail to the firmament. And Aquarius is that boundary, that firmament between earth and heaven. Okay, between 3D and what's above it, between matter and no matter. And that is where we are now, and we are piercing the boundary to get to the water. And when we reach this boundary, because of the nature of Newt, who you have to pass to have your heart weighed by Mott, when she weighs the feather in the heart for justice to see if you came here with the right reasons. Before you can even get to that process, Newt is in front as the guardian of this space. So it's almost like you need to be able to initiate the passing in Aquarius season to properly dive into the waters in Pisces and to get all of the information that you need from that sign. So while we are here, we are trying to figure out what we need from the water. Now, when I talk to you about Pisces, I always talk about the womb planet, or this primordial space where creation happens before it is birthed on Earth. That's Aries. We leave Earth through Capricorn. We get to this boundary in Aquarius where we are seeking information, trying to bring more into our earthly achievements and matter in Aries. And we got to know why we got to go to heaven, because we need to know what information we need to get so that when we get there, we can gather everything that we need to be born again in Aries, the original start of the new year. Okay, so I got the firmament as the boundary of information. It's the space that separates and purifies. It is both a threshold and a medium for transformation. Everything in creation started from a cell. Considering cell division is analogous to the firmament, when a cell needs to repair, reorganize, or evolve, it relies on waves of information to reshape its pattern. This mirrors the role of Aquarius, which delivers the wave of information necessary to spark transformation, allowing Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, to release outdated patterns and create new ones. Aquarius season positions us at the boundaries of the water. while Pisces season immerses us fully within them. Pisces is the primordial space, I said this, where we retrieve divine information to redesign the blueprint and prepare that blueprint to be birthed in Aries. So we are almost like baptizing ourselves, but we are at the threshold of the water. And before we get into this water, what information do we need, okay, to dive in? It's a level of surrender, but to have a goal for what you are surrendering for and to and why. Okay. Now, to get more information from this, we got to go back to Pluto because it's Aquarius, Pluto, the sun is there, Mercury is there, information's coming from there. It's our focal point right now. Pluto is all about this transformation. This is the information that we need to take to the water, okay? So we're talking to Pluto currently, and I want you to remember, Pluto is at 60 in Gene Keys. We keep talking about these limitations and the restrictions because it is our theme for the year, which is a podcast that I'm doing soon on the theme of freedom, which is what this Pluto is trying to gain for us. It's trying to get us to freedom, to the promised land of what freedom means to each of us individually, okay? So I want you to think of the red tapes and the boundaries and the restrictions that Pluto is showing you right now, okay? And it is giving you the information in the shadow as it looks like you don't have anywhere you can grow from, where everything in life is tightening in on you in your own personal way. And what it's asking you to do is become a master at your craft, master of things, and to learn how to traverse tight boundaries to then embody a fuller expression, to both break those boundaries and to allow evolvement, okay? Now, here is the thing about the limitations and the restrictions of Pluto that lead to realism, that lead to justice. That's the Siddhi. Realism is like the gift, okay? We need to talk about this because we're going to talk about the stack next, and the stack is so associated with Saturn, which is all about structure and discipline, okay? The stack as in the arc and the planets. Nothing you create will be great if it does not have a boundary around it. It is an integration of the masculine, which is the boundary, and the feminine flows through to express itself within that space. Without the boundary, it's all free flow, and free flow is there is no beginning, no end. You can't, it's not captured. We're in time, so we capture the freedom of expression of the feminine by creating boundaries and laws for ourselves to traverse within and to build from, okay? Structures are necessary to move you from point A to point B. If you are trying to get to the moon, you would need to create a spaceship, okay? And that would be the container that would get you to the moon. The container is just a container to get you somewhere. Once you reach the moon, you get out of the container, and while you need it to come back, it's just a structure that moves you from place to place. You have to develop disciplines within your own reality field, laws to grow from and to create organized patterns. These structures are inherent to our being. And when we go to Pisces, we aren't necessarily really building the structure. We are picking up more of the blueprint that is inherent into our being to bring more of it to Earth. But we need to learn how to create within structures and to remember that the feminine is magic. So once you create the structure, no matter what it is, you give the feminine a place to express fully, and that is the magic that can come in through this boundary. I'm going to give you an example. So, even something as simple as my business, Luluti, I have been trying to bring out more of this energy of this business. And in doing so, I've had to reframe my entire company, and I'm still in the process of doing that. But I'm turning it from like a skincare company that just delivers products all the time to more of a box company that is going to be more strategic and trying to clean it up so it's less packaging and it's better for the earth, and we go to 100% sustainability. And I'm trying to streamline the process of purchasing so that I can streamline the process of merchandising. And I'm creating these very strategic boundaries and structures to give information a structured place to flow so that it can go where I want to go and it can increase within these thresholds. It's not just everywhere, it's very focused, okay? Without the structures, I feel like I'm all over the place. With the structures, I have a defined reasoning for every single thing that I'm doing. And it gives me a place to unleash way more creativity. But this whole time, I'm trying to keep in mind, like, I don't want to piss off my customers. I don't want to do this wrong, is what I'm going to say. But I'm feeling the call to have this heart-based business that is truly dedicated to Mother Earth and is releasing the shackles of what society expects me to be and to go in a very authentic direction and listen to my intuition, right? And so then I got the download. You're at the threshold to release the shackles of limitations and restrictions and step into your unique divine pattern. It is transformational. If your ideas cannot get past the hurdles of the world or your mind, then how do you expect to grow? Every now and then, pressure tests are necessary to refine, define, and secure the foundations of the structure. Okay? So what we're going to be experiencing is a pressure test. Before our ideas, and this could be about your partnerships, about your marriage, about your business, about your spiritual life, it doesn't matter. It's about firming up all of these foundations. Before it can be birthed in Aries, it needs to be pressure tested to ensure that it is exactly what you want it to be so that it can be birthed properly, okay? And that pressure test is coming at the end of the month. This is why I'm going to start talking about this mighty stack that is going to be pressing down on us to go into that chaotic field, to go to that firmament and pierce it. Thinking about piercing a cell, okay? You got to pierce this space and to bring back more light into Aries season. So let's get into that. Now, you need to remember, we're going to have the sun here and the moon here forming a new moon portal right there in front of us, okay? Then we have Saturn, Mercury, North Node, Neptune, Venus, and Chiron, just like, okay, everything. So you got to think about, first, this portal is going to form with the new moon to open up the field to kind of pierce within the darkness and to see what light to see what's in the field of darkness. You're going to have to bring some light back from here, okay? As the moon and the sun traverse past each of these planets, you're going to be feeling it every single time. So it's going to be a mighty march as this initiation takes place. And this is an initiation. Why? Because we're focused on Pisces and Aries. Pisces is birth, death. Death, birth. Okay? So it's going to be a place where you experience a rebirthing of this new version of I am. And it is the original start of what we would consider New Year for this reason. There is a reason that I think January is currently the New Year, and I talk about that in the new, we have an episode coming on astrology and manifesting again. I have more downloads for that. And there's a reason we personally experience January as our New Year, and why we're not ready for March or Aries season to be our New Year at this point. But let's get into first Saturn. So Saturn, remember, has been in Pisces for it's going to be 2.5 years is the entire time it's going to be in Pisces. So I want you to think about like what you've been working on for 1.5 years. Okay. Again, it's all about discipline, structure, doing the stuff you say you want to do and actually putting some oomph behind it and putting some ideas in mind so that you have a place to build from. This is about finishing the design for something you've already been building to. So it doesn't matter where you are in this process. If you feel like I'm really just starting, or I'm reworking something I've been working on for a long time, you are doing the right thing if you're working on it. You are doing the right thing if it keeps calling to you to put these systems in place. Just answer the call, okay? If you need guidance for this, you need to book a session, because you might not know where your structure needs to be or why your structure needs to be, and I can help you with that, okay? I just added 1.5-hour sessions, so you get either one modality, astrology, human design, or gene keys, or you get all of them, or you can book a free consultation if you would like to partner with me and be consulted by me over the year, and I can really help you get to where you're trying to go. But you're going to need to put those structures in place right now, because it's going to be birthed in Aries. You're going to experience all of the elements with this idea or whatever you're birthing. Then we're going to have all of these major planets go retrograde. You're going to have to rework it again, okay? And then it's going to be fully rebirthed in 2026. So you have a year of getting this shit together, okay? You got 1 year. Do it. There is a wave, a momentum in our direction. And if you're ready to catch the ride, hop on the damn surfboard, okay? Booking me for a consultation is like having an oracle in your back pocket, and it is a freaking flex, okay? The stuff that comes up, it's amazing, and it gets you to where you need to be. Okay, so we have Mercury that's going to be here, our walkie-talkie. Source is going to be talking to us loud and clear about this area, so don't miss no messages. You want to listen up to what is going on. That means that I know I have to do this. I have to demand more stillness in my life. And in demanding more stillness, utilizing all of the wisdom that I've gathered to go on a deeper experience so that I can fully embody what is necessary for this rebirth. The North Node, our compass, is saying, go this way, focus on this, do this thing. Neptune is at home in Pisces. It's at the threshold or the boundary. It's piercing, okay? It's just there. It's crowning if you know what it's like to have a baby. The pressure is hitting straight at home, okay? And it's going to be this is your mission, baby. It's trying to be birthed, and it's going to take a minute, but let it go through the portal. When you're going to feel this energy this year. You're going to get a taste of what this mission is going to be like on Earth. And then you're going to have to redo some stuff to finalize it and to clean it up just a little bit before it really fully launches. You only have 3 months of that. Right now, I want you to think of Venus, who's already in Aries, as being the nurse in the waiting room. Or no, sorry, not the nurse. I want you to think of Venus as being the homie, the best friend who's been with you this whole pregnancy. Sorry, men, but this is the best way I can explain it. She's doing the baby's room, or she's cleaning up the hospital and getting it ready for you to give birth, or she's harmonizing the field, getting it all nice and good so that what you bring into reality has a proper place to be and feels good here, doing this work for us. Now in March, Aries, Venus will be going retrograde. Major. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about Venus retrogrades in general all of March. I got some really good content planned. Subscribe, please. Okay, stay in the know. That Venus retrograde series is so good. It's really going to rock your world. And then we've got Chiron. So Venus is going to go towards your wound in Aries and try to harmonize it, getting it ready for these other planets to come knocking into it so that you can just clean up and get to bring the light into this area. So we got to talk about this Chiron. Now, coincidentally enough, when we look at Chiron, which is sitting on the 20 degrees of Aries, it's all about compassion, and it's seeing life as a constant opportunity to experience love. Life's very harshness is what enables us to learn of love's unfathomable depths. Unfathomable. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Being innocent and fearless in love. Nature is harsh. People and animals suffer and starve and they die. Yet without harshness, compassion could not exist. There would be no place for it. There is no higher purpose than to live as a constant expression of compassionate love. This is neither fanciful nor sentimental love. It is feeding the hungry stranger. So Chiron is associated with learning compassion. The dark night of the soul is all about getting to the gift of compassion. Venus is headed towards this. All of the planets are going to scoot past this. This is the real lesson. You cannot have freedom without compassion. You cannot serve without compassion. We cannot be without compassion right now because the world is hurting. The world is burning. The world is fighting. The world is suffering. And we have to hold the field of compassion to allow space for other people to be able to grow authentically, organically in the way that is good for their nature. Okay. So in this understanding, the only way we can truly give compassion to another is to find it in ourselves. And I think that that is what our new moon ceremony is really trying to get us to do. And so let's talk about what I want to do for the new moon ceremony. And then let's go over all of it so that we can have a better understanding of how we cross this threshold and get to this greater place. And I don't know why I'm giving myself more work, but now I know I'll do another video if we need to. If you have any questions about the new moon ceremony and if I need to, how about that? Let me know if you need me to do another video. Also, let me know what challenges you want to get through to take to Pisces to talk about. And I think that this veil is saying I need to bring this to spirit because it's too big for me, or I need to surrender this thing. And that is what we're being asked to do to create more space within ourselves. Okay, so you've got until the middle of February to allow source, universe, higher self to tell you what you need to know, to bring information to you. Something is telling me that there is something that you want to conquer. There is something that you want to overcome. And let me know in the comments if you feel comfortable of what it is that you want to pierce the threshold with so that we can all put our energy behind it to give you the momentum necessary to reach it. Okay. In this time, you need to keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. You'll get strategies for this. Be open to listening. Come mid-month to the end of the month, you want to get to water because Pisces is water. So you've got until the end of the month. You've got until, let's say, the 20th till the 28th. That's not much time. But you got to, if you're near water, get to water. And I want you to determine when you get to this water. Now, if you can get in the water, get in the water. If you got no water to get into and you're near the water, you're just going to talk to the water. If you're at home and you don't have no water around you, you can take a bath or a shower, purify with salt. Take the disciplines, take the structures, take the ideas. Hand them over. Release everything. Go in the direction of the structures that you've created, that you've come up with this month. If you need help, remember, I'm here. We're going to be existing within these structures. These are the promises and the vows to ourselves. You want to go to the water and surrender and say, this is where I'm going. Please allow the magic to come in. Allow the divine feminine to fill this space. But have your structures ready. And then from March until you need to redefine the structure again, structures are constantly changing. Remember, they only get you from point A to point B. You'll know when you need to do it again. You're going to exist within this defined structure and this discipline that you've created for yourself. Okay, this could be just be a new schedule. This could be a new ritual. This could be a new layer of self-care. This could be me coming up with these structures to quit smoking and doing all of these things. And what I'm going to bring in to nourish myself instead of take from myself. This could be about your relationships and developing new structures. This could be about your finances and developing new structures and boundaries. Whatever it is. You're going to surrender it and just go with it. With all of our gusto, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it in full faith that something's going to catch us. With full faith that this is the direction we're going to go into, and we're going to feel into We're going to feel into the discomfort, and we're going to turn that shit into gold, baby. Together, okay? We're going to do it together. So be ready to determine what it is you need to surrender, and be ready to take the steps to surrender it. Give yourself some dates to say, I'm going to start doing this on this day. I don't care what happens. I have no excuses anymore. I'm just going to do it. And let's watch some magic unfold. Okay? That is what I have for you this month. You can book a session. You can take the course and learn all about your body. Knowing yourself is so important right now, because this is how you're going to get to where you're going. Your mission is entwined with the self. Your finances are entwined with the self. The love you're looking for is entwined with the self. And then know that more that you know this avatar and this blueprint you came in with, through knowing all of these defined structures that you already created through your natal chart. You created this stuff before you got here, your gene keys, your human design. You determined you wanted to come in like this. When you know these things, you have so much more power to move from. And it's all about power. It's all about knowing our personal power and using our personal power in all of these magnificent new ways that are going to come in when we were rebirthed through Aries, okay? We're going to come back with more than what we gave up. And that is the faith part that we're going to need to latch on to really dive in and allow the momentum to take us to these amazing places. I am Candace with A Course in Miracles. A Course in Miracles. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your challenges that you're going to face, what opportunities you're going to bring into this new reality that's going to happen in Aries season. Thank you again. Have a good day.